Hey, we're the History Hikers. I'm Dries.
And I'm Jente.
And we're at a place that's even older than the ancient pyramids of Egypt.
So travel with us to the Neolithic times at the Tumuli de Bougon.
Not far from the city of Poitiers stand 6 ancient monuments. They are tumuli, mounds of earth or dirt covering a grave site. They are among the oldest megalithic structures on the Atlantic coast, and their quality of conservation is remarkable. Together they form a necropolis used by the Neolithic tribes inhabiting this area in the 5th millennium before Christ. That's older than the pyramids of Egypt. They remained in use for nearly 2,000 years.
The park surrounding the Tumuli holds reconstructions of Neolithic and Bronze Age houses, which show us how these people used to live. The large house is a reconstruction based on actual archaeological research. It measures 44 meters long and would have housed multiple families. This type of home would have been used all over Western France around the end of the Neolithic period. The museum accompanying the site houses a rich collection of archaeological finds from Western and Central France and provides a glimpse into the daily life of these ancient people.
The first tumulus we come across is known as Tumulus A. All of them will have such inventive names. The mound is made up of several concentric dry stone walls and measures 40 meters in diameter. Up to 200 people were buried inside this tumulus. The chamber is quite spacious, tall enough for me to stand up in. What is remarkable is that the roof of the chamber is covered by a single stone slab 1 meter thick and weighing an estimated 90 tons.
So how do these tumuli get built? Whenever we look at megalithic structures, it's hard to fathom the effort it takes to build something like this. Still, we shouldn't ignore human ingenuity, even millennia ago. The park has a display showing the assumed stages of construction based on current hypotheses. They start by hauling in the stones, sometimes over large distances, by pulling them over rolling logs. They get arranged to form the room inside the tumulus.
With the chamber in place, earth can be piled on top, either in one big mound or in layers with concentric stone walls, as in this example. The last display illustrates the state of the same monument after destruction over time. What is left is a typical dolmen we know today. Old school History Hikers viewers might remember our discovery of the Dolmen des Fades in Occitanie, which once was also covered by a tumulus.
The next tumulus we come across is Tumulus C. A tumulus with a small dolmen as chamber was built first. Later, a second large rectangular platform was built against his first tumulus. The whole was covered with a mound later on, which was meant to block access to the earlier tumuli. This is the largest mound in the necropolis, 57 meters in diameter.
Tumulus B is smaller than the previous two, only up to a meter high. It consists of two small dolmens. Remains of two separate burials were discovered here. The mound also holds two kists, which are smaller stone-built boxes meant to hold burial remains.
The necropolis is divided in two by so-called Tumulus D, which is strictly speaking not a tumulus. It is an elongated mound separating tumuli A, B and C from the remaining two mounds. It is an enigmatic structure which must have had a symbolic or functional role.
Tumulus E is rectangular in shape. It is delimited by two facing walls. Inside we find two smaller chambers. In these chambers, researchers found remains of human bones, including 4 skulls, as well as shards of pottery, flint tools and bone jewelry. One of these dolmens is probably the oldest in the entire necropolis.
How did Neolithic people care for their dead? From the archaeological records, we can deduce that death care was an important part of culture and society. People were buried with furniture, ceramic pots and vases, and tools. A tumulus could be reused for later burials, as researchers discovered different layers of remains, which are, for example, separated by stone paving. Though we think of life back then as harsh and unforgiving, the opposite seems to be true. One of the found skulls showed traces of primitive brain surgery, and the wounds have actually healed. This means that the sick and wounded weren't just left for dead. They also found the skeleton of a dog, accompanying that of a child. This presents us with an image of tender and deep family affection.
The last tumulus in the necropolis is F. It measures 72 meters long and consists of 3 stages of construction. This tumulus was built first. The chamber inside is constructed entirely out of dry stonework and forms a dome. Out of the dozen or so skeletons found in this chamber, around half of them are children. Carbon-14 dating shows they lived around 6,700 years ago, the oldest human bones found in a Neolithic burial chamber in Western Europe.
Later on, a long tumulus without any chambers was attached to the earlier mound. Eventually, a second tumulus with a dolmen was attached at the opposite end. It consists of a square burial chamber. Like the first tumulus, it is covered by a single stone slab, though this one is smaller. These slabs are carried by other enormous stones, known as ordostates, standing upright. These were often decorated with carvings. Inside the museum is a replica of a similar dolmen which shows these in more detail. Visiting these tumuli has given us a deeper understanding of the culture of our ancestors and their beliefs surrounding death and the afterlife. We hope you have felt the same way.
Another prehistory hikers mission done. Really fascinating how the early humans were such engineering masterminds.
And also fascinating how we as humans have cared for our dead throughout the centuries, nay, the millennia.
Thank you so much for watching.
And like, comment, subscribe and all that good YouTube stuff if you want to see more of these prehistoric places.
See you next time.
Bye!